She works with clients in her own private practice, both online and in person in Stillwater. She has been leading retreats, workshops, and events around the country for the past 5 years, as well as launching her online programs in 2018. She speaks and teaches as often as possible because that is her true passion. She's an incredible speaker. So Lake Harris Spiritual Community, help me welcome Shannon Sondrol.
Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. How are you all doing? Good. It's a beautiful Sunday here in Minnesota. It's a little hot, right? I left Arizona 2 weeks ago and it was 115. So I know your pain of this heat. I think it's beautiful. So this morning, what we're gonna do is we're gonna elevate the energy to start with, okay? So I want you all to stand up. And Gary, if you have any music, by chance, if you have any background music, and we're just gonna move, because movement is really important to elevate our energy, okay? So you can close your eyes if you want, or you can keep them open, no judgment here at all. And we're just going to move the body in whatever way feels right for you. Just kind of get that energy moving and flowing. Just allow yourself to get grounded here in this space. Allowing yourself to be present right here, right now. Letting go of all the outside noise and outside situations, shaking anything off that you need to shake off. And just kind of allowing yourself to open up to receive as well. And just affirming that you are in a safe and sacred place. And so just allowing yourself to be everything that you are in this now moment. Okay? And we're just gonna let the mind and the ego fall away for the next hour. We're gonna come into our heart centers. You can do a little tapping right there if you want. Just get yourself here. The heart, the soul, connected to your spirit, all of that. Okay? And I just want you to think about what your intention is for this day. Have you set your intention yet for the day? Hold your hand there for a minute, wherever it's at, and breathe. Just allowing yourself to breathe. And again, just to connect. And I just want you to remember, you don't have to do any of the work here. You just get to open up and receive this message. All right. So whenever you feel like you're anchored and you're grounded and you're here, you can go ahead and sit down. And would anyone like to share what their intention is for this day? Because I would love to hear from a couple of you. Just wait for the mic. Just raise your hand if you would like to. Oh, we have to for the live stream.
Okay. I just had to come because I had a Kundalini activation when I was 23, and I've been really puzzled by a lot of it. I'm 67 now, so I've been puzzled by it for a long time.
Okay.
And so I had to say, well, what can I learn? So.
Oh, I love that. Okay. Well, I don't have any of the answers, just so you know. I'm just kidding.
Well, my intention is to stay grounded and balanced. So I have a tendency to not be fully present, so that's my intention.
Awesome. Perfect. Anybody else want to share? All right. Well, thank you all for being here and being present. And what that means is just setting aside your mind from what you're doing next, from what happened last night, from what happened in your week, and literally just being right here, right now. Okay? And like Ella said, that's what groundedness and being in your body is all about. And so that's why I like to start with that exercise and a little bit of movement and get us here, because so many of us who have had spiritual awakenings and are going through a transformation process, we live in these upper chakras and we're really connected to the spiritual realm. But the thing is, my friends, is we're embodied for a reason. Because we got work to do here in the physical world on planet Earth this time, right? And so that's what's so important. So for me too, I work every day to be in my body, to ground myself, to have my root chakra connected to the earth, okay? So things like getting out in nature, getting your feet on the earth, getting your whole body on the earth, your workouts, right? Weightlifting, it gets you in your body, my friends. Okay, so just remember that, because we do want to be anchored and grounded here right now, and also connected, right? So one foot on planet Earth, and the other one allowing yourself to access the higher dimensions and realms, and those elevated states, and the spiritual realm, and all of that. Because that is where fantastic ideas and books and inspiration and everything that gets downloaded to you to be developed here in the physical world, that's where it comes through, is by being connected in those higher energies, okay? As many of you know, it's something that is so beyond us, and we simply open up and allow it to flow through, okay? So if you don't know, today is the new moon, my friends. And the last time I spoke at Lake Harriet, which was like a year ago, was also the new moon. But see, none of this is planned. I just reach out to Gary and I say, hey, here's when I'm gonna be in Minnesota. Do you have any openings for a speaker? And it just lands on August 4th. And then as it gets closer, like 3 days, 4 days ago, I'm like, oh my gosh, it's that new moon again. No mistake, my friends, okay? So new moon is all about new beginnings. It's all about allowing new doorways and new opportunities and all of that to come into your life, right? But in order to do that, you also have to make space, and you also have to be willing to let go of the old. And you have to be willing to let go of your comfort zone. That feels so good at times, right? But how much are you just in that, doing the same thing over and over and over, and possibly stifling your growth a bit because it does feel so comfortable, okay? So you gotta allow yourself to be challenged, you gotta allow yourself to go beyond, you gotta allow yourself to say yes when something new comes into your life and into your world. And for sure, it's a bit of the clearing out of old patterns and old programming and old ways of doing things, which is where consciousness and awareness and being really tuned in to how you're moving throughout your days and how you're moving throughout your world and what those repeated patterns might be for you, okay? So on this new moon, it's an elevated energy that allows you to open up, that allows you to call in new blessings, new manifestations, new opportunities for you. So if many of you have experienced some sort of purging out this last week of old energy or old programs, or maybe some conflict within your relationships or within your own being coming up in your dreams. There's a reason for it, because that old has to clear out before the new comes in. Okay, so if you pay attention to every 28 days on the new moon, you're probably gonna see that cycle of there's stuff clearing out the week prior to the new moon. Okay, and that can be very scary at times, but when you understand it and you have that awareness, it's like, oh, that makes so much sense on why that was happening now. Okay, because again, you're not gonna bring all that stuff with you. Some of it is way too heavy to go where you are headed, which is into lighter energies, essentially, okay? And so just understanding that and also setting your intentions today for the next 28-day cycle, okay? So how do you wanna feel? What are you choosing to create? What are you calling into your life? It's part of journaling and spiritual practice, and it's just a really powerful way to send it out and signal it out to the universe on what you are creating and what you desire at this time. Okay. And then, of course, you take one small action step in that direction. Okay, so here's what so many people miss about manifestation is they forget the action. But action is so incredibly important, okay? So you take one small step in that direction and the universe goes, whew, behind you, and it sends all this energy because they know now which direction you're moving, right? And then you take the next small step, okay? And so just allow yourself to embrace this powerful, it's the Leo new moon, okay? And there's a bunch of stuff online that you can find out about all the characteristics of what that means. And so, my friends, when you get so clear about who you are and what you're here to do and where you're headed, I believe that this journey and this journey of our soul becomes a really powerful, magical, elevated way to live. And it's that whole quote of being in the world, but not of the world. Right? And so many times when we go out there, I know for myself included, I can get tossed around with all these distractions and all these pretty things and all the noise. And it's like, I was so focused when I was at home, right? In the silence and the stillness. And then I got out into the world and this stuff came in and it kind of steered me in these other directions, right? And so that's something that we just want to be mindful of and aware of, because it happens to all of us, right? And yet the topic for today, for this month here at Lake Harriet, is living intentionally, okay? So when you have your daily spiritual practice and your morning spiritual practice of setting the intentions for your day, for your week, for your month, and you get so clear and you get so anchored in that, then when you're out in the world, you're so much less likely to get pulled away or to get distracted or for something that is not aligned with where you're headed, your values, your mission, your goals to come in. And when it does, you just shove it right back out. Not interested, right? That's not for me. This is where I'm headed. And you just get incredibly laser focused. I think the thing that most people get stuck on, myself included, is that clarity piece of what exactly is it that I'm here to do? Or where exactly is it that I'm headed for this next chapter and this next phase? Okay. And that's why in the work that I do, I help people to go within. Because as many of you know, right, the answers don't live outside of you, they live within you. And it's that heart space and that soul space that we want to be able to access. The only thing is, sometimes it's very difficult to hear that when there's so much outside noise, right? Or there's so much going on in the mind and all of that. So, my challenge to you on a daily basis is to allow yourself to have at least 10 minutes of quiet and stillness, at least 10 minutes of going within, and disconnecting when you're out on your nature walks, and disconnecting when you feel overwhelmed. Okay, so pulling back and allowing yourself truly to go within and to access those answers that live inside you, okay, which is definitely within the heart and soul. So, I want to do an exercise with you here. And for any of you who have like a journal or something to write with, you might want to take it out in case something might come in or an aha moment. And I just want you to just take a minute again to go within. So if you close your eyes, you can do that. You can just go into the heart center. And if you have trouble accessing that, just feel free to put your hands over your heart. You can do some tapping. You can just allow yourself to go there if you can. Send your breath into that space. And 3 really powerful questions to ask on a daily basis. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? And then how can I serve? So where would you have me go? What would you have me do? And how can I serve? So I just want you to ask that within yourself right now. See if anything comes up for you, out for you. Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? And how can I serve? And again, when you ask those, allowing yourself to expand and to be in expansion, going beyond your comfort zone, going beyond what you were capable of, and allowing yourself to be capable of that next level at this time. Okay. Which also means you might be learning new things, having new relationships, like all this stuff that might at first feel foreign to you, but is actually a huge blessing and allows you to grow into your next level as well. So just take a breath there. And just a huge reminder right now that things are not meant to stay the same, my friends. They are ever evolving and changing and growing and shifting and all of that. Okay? And so allowing that to transpire for you and for your journey as well. And whenever you feel like you want to come out of that, feel free to do so. Write down anything that you might have gathered. All right. Feel free to open your eyes whenever you're ready. So the journey of the soul looks quite different than the journey that a lot of people are walking here in the physical world. Because you're going against the grain, and you're doing things differently, and you're saying no to what isn't aligned, and you're saying yes to what is, and you're bucking the system big time. And I'm one of those people. And I was a good girl as a child because I was deathly afraid of my dad. Okay, so I behaved very well. But then when I got out in the world, I realized there was all this freedom out there, and things got a little crazy for me once I turned 18. But I wanted to break free, as many of us do once we get out of a household or a strict household or whatever it is that we might be in. And so I did that, but I was living in the physical world, just going through the motions, like the college and the job and all of that. And at 28, I had a spiritual awakening. And it was a Kundalini awakening that was very intense, and it was very fast, and it was very chaotic, and I started hearing voices and all the things that happen when your clairvoyance comes online. And so, because of that and all that, I ended up in the medical system and medicated because of the labels and the diagnoses, right, that happen when you're experiencing some of those things and don't have strong spiritual mentors around you, or shamans, or any of that to help you navigate. And so that was the beginning of this journey of my soul, and literally removing me from my career, removing me from everything that my mind and ego and even my family was telling me, and saying, you're here for something different, and we're gonna take you on a different path now, okay? But I resisted for a long time, and as we do when we resist, we get thrown down hard, again and again and again, until we listen. Have any of you had that? Where it's like you're feeling a nudge to leave something, right? Like I was getting messages to leave my career for 6 to 9 months, even maybe a year before that. But my mind got in the way. But how am I gonna make money? But what am I gonna do? But this is what I went to college for, and all these things. And the universe just kept sending sign after catalyst, and things started getting more and more intense, more and more hard. But I was like, no, but I have to stay here and cling on, and then eventually, at some point, it all crumbles, right? Or it all explodes or implodes to get you where you need to be, which I believe is aligned with your soul and what you're here to do here. So as that all transpired over the course of a year and a half, it led me into massage therapy school. And it was just the opening of me understanding that I was a healer, me putting my hands on many people over the course of the next 5 years, also receiving treatment and all that exchange, and really understanding the power of healing touch and energy and all of those things. Okay, but when you don't know, you don't know. Until something happens, until you start discovering, maybe on your own, maybe through a spiritual mentor or teacher, that, oh my gosh, I have all these abilities, I have all these gifts, and literally the universe, God, is getting me to align with those so that I can serve the world in that way with all these gifts that I have. And as you go more and more down that path, more and more will start to come online for you, my friends. Okay? So it was like massage therapy and cranial sacral therapy and Reiki and all that. And then one thing led to another, and I started developing online programs and teaching and speaking. In 2018, like almost 30 workshops between here and Denver. I was just on my mission big time to help people realize that they could heal themselves and all of that. And it just kept going. And then there was obviously 2020 that shifted everything, so everything went online, right? And I had my own personal transformation, big time catalyst coming back to Minnesota during that time. And I think we all during that time went through something that was very personal and very challenging and very real to essentially get us to our next level, right? But all that buried stuff when we were quiet and still during that time, it definitely came out. Huge blessing, by the way. But then we started understanding what was in there and the trauma and what was going on in our relationships, because we couldn't run anymore, right? We couldn't run, we couldn't hide. We could still numb if we chose to. How many of you had an old coping mechanism that came online during that time? Anybody? Okay, because I started smoking cigarettes again for 3 to 4 months. I know, it was crazy. I'm like, where is this coming from? But it's okay, right? We just see it, we understand what's happening, and eventually it falls away again. And so then after that, on the other side of all that, for many of us, it was like, what's life now and where am I headed now, right? And for me, that was into more of a coaching role and just group stuff, trying to reach more people and get them elevated. Because what I saw is that so many people were doing so much healing and so much work and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, but that they were staying stuck in that as well. Stuck in the healing, stuck in the constant needing to fix or needing the next class or needing the next certification. And I'm like, no. At some point, we have to go beyond and simply live life, my friends, because that's where we learn so much. Like all your lessons and all the powerful catalysts and relationships and reflections, they come through being out there and living life, right? Not sitting in a classroom, not doing another session of something. Yes, it can be powerful, but then you have to get out there and you have to implement all of that. And you have to learn through the reflections that other people are showing you of how you're interacting with them, of what your energy is. And to be honest, if you're realizing how thin the veil is becoming, you'll see that if your energy is off, I just saw this on Friday night. I was out somewhere, and my energy was off, and I saw it reflected in the person that was serving me. I was like, oh my gosh, and I shifted it within 5 minutes, and that whole dynamic changed. But it was simply a reflection of the fear that I was caught in at the time, okay? So just pay attention and know that you have the capability to shift it like that when you're aware, okay? And I live and breathe and truly do feel that everything is energy. Everything is energy, my friends, okay? So that means what you're putting out, it affects the whole, right? It affects everyone that you come into contact with, for sure. And obviously what you're receiving as well from the people around you, that affects your energy field, that affects your body big time. And so it's important to have this energy hygiene, if you will, and to be tending to your energy all day. So a lot of times I hear people say, oh my gosh, I just love your energy, whatever that is. And sometimes I'm very zen and very peaceful and very calm, very feminine and flowy. And other times I'm like super high energy and full of passion and full of spark and full of excitement. And I think they're both so beautiful. Okay, because we don't have to be this all the time, and we don't have to be this all the time. And we can actually blend them and have this beautiful harmony within ourselves. But what I found is when I'm in the energy of passion, it's like magnetism. People want that. They're hungry for it, my friends. So when you find that thing that freaking lights your fire, that you are so incredibly passionate about, you need to go after that, no matter what. No excuses. No holds bar, or however you say that. You just have to go after it with everything that you have, because that will get you everything that you need in this life and more. Everything that you want in this life and more. So if you lost your passion, today's the day to get it back. How do you get it back, right? You ask yourself, what makes me come alive now? Not yesterday, not a week ago, not a month ago. On this now moment, in this now moment, what makes me feel alive now? Because you're gonna go back to that restaurant you went to last week and back to that coffee shop, and you're like, I don't know, but something shifted. It doesn't feel the same. That happens for me a lot, right? The coffee's not as good, the energy's not as good. Could be you, it could be them, but there was a shift in frequency, my friends. There was a shift in your vibration. Maybe you elevated. And that space, that place, those people, they're not on the same frequency anymore, right? And so just pay attention to that, because you don't want to keep doing the same thing over and over and over and going to the same places and keep having the same experiences. You want to go beyond. You definitely want to go beyond, okay? So when you have that thing that you're so passionate about and you're doing that and you're sending that out into the world and you show up with that passion and that excitement, just watch how people gravitate towards you. Just watch how everything that you need to fulfill that also comes into your life, okay? But here's the thing about the other key component to this is you have to be open to receiving. You have to be open to receiving it and not saying, because as a strong, independent woman, I have done this so much, I'll just do it all on my own. I'll just go get that myself. I'll just go do this. I'll just go do this. And it was exhausting, my friends. It's exhausting. Seriously, okay? And that's why, women, it's so important to get out of your masculine and into your feminine, which is a whole other hour talk. Like, I'm not even kidding, okay? Or workshop. But to receive and attract to you that which you need, that which you desire. Not just saying, oh, it's taking too long, so I'm gonna go and get it myself. Because that's still what I do sometimes. It's taking too long, so let me just go do it myself. When the universe is like, if you just would have waited a day, if you just would have waited an hour, that Prince Charming would have showed up and handed it right to you. But you were so impatient that you went out and got it for yourself. Okay, as you wish, right? So you have to, there is a component of patience to it. Take action, take the guided, inspired action that you're meant to take, but it's not action after action after action after action. No. It's one powerful action, and then you pull back and you receive. It's another powerful action, and then you allow yourself to surrender. Okay? And allow literally the universe to work its magic, because you just sent out an energy, you just sent out a frequency, you just sent out an email, you just sent out a new project. I have a YouTube video that I think all of you should watch. And I just recorded it like a week ago when I first got back to Minnesota, up in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. I was up there for 4 days. Beautiful country, beautiful. And I was sitting out by the lake and I recorded this video, and it's for everyone who has their own business or will have their own business. And it talks about if you get everyone in your company vibrating at the same frequency, and you have a launch party or a launch day before you send out your next big project, before you launch the next part of your business, the next component of your business, okay? And you get everyone elevated, and you get everyone at the same energy, in the same frequency, and you can do it within an hour. If you have someone good who's directing them, literally you can elevate people's energy really quickly. And so you get everyone vibrating at this same frequency, and you hold it, okay? And then when you're ready to launch that thing in the world, whether that's an email, whether it's social media posts, whether it's like contacting all your clients and saying, this is now what we're doing. This is the next big venture that we are partaking on. And at the time that you send that out, you have all these people in this elevated energy. Oh my gosh, my friends, that makes an impact here. Literally, and I wish more businesses knew this, because when that lands with your clients and they feel the passion and they feel the excitement, and they can't not feel that energy because you have 120 people vibrating at the same frequency and you're sending that thing out into the world, when that lands with your clients, they're like, I don't know what that just was, but I want it. And I'm signing up and I'm working with them because I've never felt anything like that. They don't even know what hit them, my friends. That's the power of energy, okay? So think about that if you're launching your business. If you are launching anything out into the world, so before I launch an email out to my network, I make sure my energy is up. I dance. I'm always dancing, always moving, all of that. And then I send that out at a certain frequency. And my job is done then, because it's gonna land with everyone who is resonant to that frequency, okay? And some people might reject it, because if some people are caught in trauma, anger, addiction, they don't want it. They're like, get that light and get that passion and get that stuff away from me. That's fine, doesn't matter. You do it anyway, and then after I send an email out, I usually go and lay down. Put some frequency music on, I just breathe, or I go for a walk. I don't do the next action right away. I allow myself to surrender, and to receive whatever it is that will come from that action that I just took. Does that make sense? And then, so back to the business and having a launch day. If a business is sending that project out and they get all their employees vibrating at the same frequency and send it out, and it lands, you allow like 20, 30 minutes for it to land out in the world. Okay, allowing things to land, my friends, is really important. Give it time and space to land. And then you celebrate. You celebrate what you just created. You celebrate what you just launched. You celebrate what you just did. And that is also the part that so many people miss, is the celebration. Okay, of celebrating every step that you've taken, of celebrating every milestone, big or small. Celebration, because you have to acknowledge your accomplishments, your creations. And when you don't have to, but when you do, it keeps that energy going. It keeps that passion and excitement going. Okay, and you might be moving quite quickly right now, where it's like, okay, that happened today, you did that, you allowed it to land, and then you keep tending to that thing and to that project. You have to, right? Keep pulling the weeds, keep tending, keep watering, whatever you need to do to keep it going and keep it expanding and growing and all of these things. But the next day you might get the next new idea. Okay, let's start it all over again. Here's the idea. Let's start the process of putting it in motion. Okay, because when you're a visionary, which I am, and I believe that many of you are in this room as well, you are going to have vision after idea after idea, okay? And maybe not every one of them is put into action and implemented, but many of them are supposed to be. And that's where a really powerful team comes into play that can help you put these visions and ideas into action. This is definitely not a one-man show. Okay? Does that resonate for you? Do you understand some of that? Okay. And so, one little component to this too is anyone who's not for you, anyone who in ways might be working against you, and we don't have to get into conspiracy theory or agendas or anything, but anyone whose energy you're like, yeah, they don't really like me or they're not really for this, be mindful. And protect your creations, my friends, like your life depends on it. It is your baby. Your creations, your ideas, don't share it with the world right away. Don't even share it with anyone, maybe your best confidant. But you have to allow it to grow and develop and gain strength. Because if you share it right away, when the energy of it's really fragile, it very easily can be compromised. Do you understand? Okay. So you also, if there's people in your life who are not for you, okay, you just kind of want to put them out here, okay? And you want to get everyone who is like rooting for your dreams and you go girl and all this stuff, you want them up close and personal with you. You want that energy close to you, my friends, okay? And just as my own personal story, along the way, there's been a lot of people saying, who the heck do you think you are? Who are you to be up on stage speaking? Who are you to claim that you can do this work? Who are you? But it's just their own insecurities. It's just their own projections, right? And once you realize that, you don't take any of it personal. You just keep doing what you're meant to do. And even if they don't say it in words, they say it in energy, right? Because if you can feel energy and you can see beyond, my friends, which probably many of you can, you know that words aren't the truth all the time. But the energy for sure is, okay? So make sure that you're just tuned into that, to the energy of something, to how it makes you feel, to how it resonates, to how you feel when you're around it and in that space and with those people, okay? So, I'm going to move into questions at this time just to see if anybody has anything regarding what came out in the first meditation about your passion, about what you're here to do, any part of anything I've said that I can explain more or connect more dots for you, I would absolutely love to do that. If anybody has anything, just raise your hand and she'll bring the mic to you. Yes. And then if you'll just tell me your name too. Sure. I always like to hear.
My name is David, and where I'm kind of stuck is after I got COVID in 2020, I've been in long COVID ever since then. So I want to progress and I want to go and do all these things, but I just can't. Don't have the energy for it. So then what?
So physically you don't have.
Right. And mentally too.
Okay. So I guess my question is, like, will you keep with the mic? Because I just want to have a bit of a conversation.
He's going to have a conversation.
So what do you do on a daily basis to work with your energy or to tend to your energy?
I try to meditate daily.
Okay.
Otherwise, I tend to, if there's something in the day that has to be done, it's in the morning when I have the most energy, because I know by around noon, I'm going to be fading out.
Okay. Yep. And have you looked at like your space, the energy of your space? And
It's a mess.
okay. Yeah. So even just right there, like the energy of our environment affects everything, my friends. Okay? Right? And so allowing yourself to clear out what is old energy, what is old things, the clutter, all of that stuff, so that you have a peaceful, safe place in which your body can heal. That's incredibly important. Okay? And then obviously working with a healer is also, it can be very impactful, or a coach, right? Just so that you have the support that you need at this time. And also to honor exactly where you are at, and to affirm also that you are going beyond and that you will get beyond. Okay? But another tool that I love when I'm in a lower vibration than what I want to be, or just not feeling great, is frequency music. So going onto YouTube and putting frequency music on can be incredibly powerful as well, and playing that in your home. Okay? But clearing up your space, my friends, that's so important. Okay? That's so important. And you can't have toxic people in your space and think that you're going to live in elevated energies. No, because as strong as you are, because I used to see that too, how long can I be around this person and maintain my own and hold my strength? But at some point, you just stop putting yourself there, because it affects you whether you think it does or not, right? So you just want to be very mindful of the energy you're engaging with too. Okay?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Going back to when you shifted your energy at the restaurant on Friday night,
Yeah.
can you give a little example how you did that? I notice I do that a lot, where maybe my energy's off from work or the people I've been around, and I notice even the waiter or waitress is kind of, you can tell they're affected.
Yeah.
Do you have some tips on maybe how you did that really quick? You said like kind of like a 5-minute or something thing?
So I started talking to the person who was next to me. And we started having a conversation around the work she does and the work I do. And I started talking about my passion. And that's what shifted it like that. And she just happened to do psychotherapy. And so her working in her field and me working in my field, we had so much to talk about, and we were just like going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. So I took my focus off something else that I was focused on that made me feel like insecure and whatever that was, and I put my focus there, and it shifted everything. And then people started coming up, and people were like wanted to have the conversation with us because they could feel that energy and feel that passion. So that's what shifted it. Yeah, you're welcome. Anybody else? It's so lovely to see some familiar faces in here. Do you ladies have anything over here? No? Okay. Perfect. All right, we have 2 more. Any aha moments from today or anything else that wants to be shared? Because it's always lovely to hear from all of you as well. Oh, one up here.
I like the idea of the journey, when you were talking about the journey. Okay.
Yeah.
And I wrote down not running. Can you tell more about the journey part of it?
Yeah. And so not running, what did that mean to you?
That I have to slow down, take the time to
Yeah.
just enjoy the whatever that
Absolutely.
journey is.
Enjoy, not just getting to that next destination, right?
Yeah.
And one thing that I want to add, the speed of the matrix is much faster than the speed of nature. And the speed of nature is our natural rhythm, my friends. That's our natural rhythm. That's our flow. Okay? So I'm down with the sun and I'm up with the sun. And I'm synced and I spend a ton of time in nature. And I camp like every 6 weeks or so to get my body on the earth. Okay? And so just remember, when you get caught up in how fast the world is moving, you want to pull back out of it. Because sometimes you're moving faster than what the universe is moving. Okay? And if you're moving so fast doing all these things, you're not pulled back and allowing things to, again, come to you and to align for you and to be attracted to you. Because you're so busy moving fast and running, like you were saying. Okay? And so the journey for me, it's like, it is the journey of the soul. It's the journey of the heart. Okay? And so that's why allowing yourself to go within and to have that quiet and that stillness, not all day, not every day, but every day, like 10 minutes of that, or increments of 10 minutes of that. Okay? So that you can get clear on who you are, and that's free of societal programming, free of what your family's telling you, free of the voices around you and what they're doing. It's your own unique, this is how I am to move in this world. This is what I am to do in this world. Does that make sense? Okay. So my friends, with that, thank you so much for being here. And it was a pleasure.
Hello? Whew. Well, thank you, Shannon, for those reminders about how to live more intentionally. And I love those 3 questions. I'm going to try to figure out how to incorporate those in a practice so that I can focus my intentions and stay present. So I love those questions. So what was it? What would you have me go? Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? And then how can I be of service? So I love those questions. All right, so thank you. Now is the time that we'll be begging you for some money. Lake Harriet is funded solely by your donations. That's our primary source of income. We don't have another mothership or any other source of income to help maintain the building, keep the lights on, keep the doors open so that we can continue to provide a space for everyone to grow and evolve. So the ushers will be passing the basket in just a moment. And the other way that you can donate, if you don't have an opportunity to do that today, is through our website, Lake Harriet Spiritual Community.org. There is a link to PayPal. So if you wanted to donate that way or to set up a regular donation, that's another opportunity to do so. So we're grateful for whatever support you can give us today. All right, so Gary will play some nice music for us, and the ushers will be passing the basket.
Sometimes I think I know it all, like the red leaf unaware of the fall, and the world will leave me slack-jawed. I remember that all humans are flawed. Look at the moon, Betty. Look at the moon, Betty. There's so much out there we will never understand. Look at the moon, Betty. Look at the moon, Betty. But I point at the sky, and you look at my hand. When that little love is on your face, the moment transcends all time and space. Oh, honey, please don't say that she can't smile. I've seen it more than once in a while. Look at the moon, Betty. Look at the moon, Betty. Is it all random or is it all planned? Look at the moon, Betty. Look at the moon, Betty. Well, I point at the sky and you look at my hand.
Awesome. All right, well, thank you for this gift of green, and if you will help me bless the offering by repeating after me, God's perfect love, flowing through me, blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Blessed be. So as part of our tradition, you all know this, is to circle up, and Shannon will lead us in the closing. And I think we've got enough people to circle up around the middle section. All right. So, we might have to connect to make a circle. We need a circle director.
Gary, can you play some upbeat music?
Upbeat music?
I love that last song that you played.
Oh, yeah. I'll just continue it. We're about halfway through it, so I can just continue it if you want.
Okay. Alright, let's just move a little bit more. And just think about what you are grateful for today. In this moment. What are you grateful for? You can shout it out. Me too.
Curtains into the black house. Where did your light will soon go out? Look at the moon.
So I'm grateful for every single one of you showing up and being present and knowing that there is something for you to do here, that there's a greater power working through you and trying to reach you. I just want you to remember that and to open up and allow it to flow through. Because you're capable of so much, way more than you could ever comprehend. Okay? And so I want you to, as much as you can, just go into the world and radiate your happiness, your joy, your love, your passion, your stories. And just allow that to affect everyone that you come into contact with today. And I'm going to be here talking with people, so if you want to come up and say hi, I would love to connect with you one-on-one. So happy Sunday, Soulful Sunday, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thank you. Woo!